Hello and welcome to this introductory case study in this course on cracking CAT and GMAT examinations. So in this lecture, we're going to take a look at this case study of cracking GMAT examination in one attempt, the first attempt, and getting admitted in Harvard Business School. So let's take a look at this case study of moving from 610 plateau to 740 in GMAT examination and cracking GMAT in one attempt and reaching Harvard Business School, right? So let's take a look at this. So, what is the background and the challenge in this case? So, it's a case about Ria, name mask, face mask, a 25-year-old Indian engineer working in a consulting firm who dreams of, getting into Harvard. But she has her constraint that she has to work 60 to 70 hours work every week, and she wants one GMAT attempt before round one deadlines, right? And that's a tight deadline. And her baseline mark shows 610 in answering 44 quant questions and 29 verbal reasoning questions. And the HBS class profile shows that they admit usually 700 plus, often between 730 to 750 range. With this, Ria has some very well founded fears, right? That I'm decent at maths and English, but GMAT questions twist everything, right? And if my first attempt fails, I will miss HBS round one. So that's her worry and fear. And as a result of all that introspection, she realizes she needs strategy and precision just more than the more practice, right? So that's the background of the challenge. So, what is the key insight for Ria? So, she realizes that GMAT is not a knowledge test, it's a discipline test. Discipline test with disciplined thinking, error control, and time management under pressure. And Ria decides her primary goal is to get 730 plus score in one official attempt and then use that to apply for HPS. And she builds a three-phase plan over 16 weeks. So phase one is week 1 to 4 where she diagnosed like a consultant, not a student. So instead of driving to random questions, she takes two full-length mocks, which are as close to official as possible, score 6, 10, and 620. And the pattern is that in the quant, there are careless mistakes in data sufficiency, in verbal, sentence completion, and critical reasoning is weak. RC is okay. Reading comprehension is fine. And her biggest issue is timing, rushed in last 10 to 10, 8 to 10 questions. So then she creates a Bible of logging errors, right? And for every wrong or lucky guess, she records question type in terms of number properties, weakened CR, etc. And why she got it wrong, whether it missaid it, the concept gap, or time pressure. And then she starts creating a gap summary in which she creates and learns that the quant has strong basics, weak in DS logic, number properties, and word translation. And in verbal, grammar rules are fuzzy, CR arguments read too quickly, and that's a trap. So the exam skill, in terms of exam skill, her summary is that she has poor pacing, no process to bail out of toxic questions. And as a result of this introspection in week 1 to 4, she now has a personal syllabus, which is the most important thing, not a generic one, because you are different. You need to have a strategy that we will talk about in this course also on a similar lines of how to build your personal strategy. Then week 5 to 10, she builds exam muscles with targeted drill in three areas: quant from fast maths to structural logic, and verbal from native field to rule plus logic, and in time management, a three-layer strategy to address the issues that she has discovered in week 1 to 4. So in quant, she focuses on data sufficiency framework, where she starts to always think in the order of what is being asked, what is the sufficient information, and test statement systematically and avoids plugging random numbers. And then she, practices 20 DS questions per day for two chosen topics and then reviews deeply. Second thing, she focuses on the core topics like number properties, inequalities, word problems, ratios, and rates. And for each topic, she does 10 to 15 concept questions, 10 time mixed level questions, and add every tricky pattern in her error log. And she then builds some rules for herself that if I see the same mistake twice, I must write a mini note that next time check X before picking the answer. So that's how she moved from fast math to structured logic. In quant, she moves from native field to rule plus logic, and there she focuses on sentence completion, learns core rules, subject verb agreement, modifiers, parallelism, right? Builds a sentence completion checklist. What is a sentence core? Um, you know, uh, any, any modifier errors? Is the comparison logical? Then drills 15 sentence completion per day with 1 to 1.5 minutes each, and then does the postmortem. Why is each wrong choice wrong? And then she gets into critical reasoning, in which she focuses herself to identify inclusions and premises, predict answer time before looking at options, and uses standard structure like weaken, strengthen, assumption, and keeps a template in her notes. And the third part is reading comprehension. She practices active reading, first 32 seconds, finds structure, main idea, tone, paragraph rules, and then writes 1 to 2 line summary for each passage to avoid rereading. So that's how she moves from native feel to rule and logic. The third thing was on time management. She adopts a three-layer strategy. She adopts strict timing discipline per questions. You know, if stuck at 145 in quant or 130, add verbal and nowhere close, educated guess and move on. Per section creates checkpoints at 10th, 20th, and 30th questions. She checks time versus question number written on scratch pad and decides accordingly what to do. She does planned sacrifices like in a game of chess, except when she will guess quickly on 2, 3 questions to protect the rest. And she practices with sectional time set 20 questions in 40 minutes, 4 to 5 times each week. So that's her three-layered strategy for time management. Phase 3, week 11 to 16, she does full-time simulation and mental game and test day playbook. So what does she do in full test simulation? She tracks 5 more, full marks under the real condition, right? Same start time and real exam, AW and IR, including stamina training, no phone, no interruptions, and scores start trending upward 660 to 690 to 710 to 720 to 730. The strategy is working now. And each time she reviews wrong answer in depth, questions guessed correctly, hidden weaknesses, and timing spikes where she bled minutes. Right. So that's a full test simulation. Then she creates, she knows anxiety can ruin everything. So she creates a test day playbook in which she has 3 elements: pre-test week, no new topics, light review of error logs, sentence completion rule, top 30 traps she noted, sleep and food mixed, fixed, no major life changes. Then she sets up a morning routine, same breakfast as during mocks during the test days, 4 to 5 warm-up questions, not hard ones to switch on brain. And in test rules, if heart rate says take three deep breaths, focus on process, not score. And she hits a brutal question early. She does quick strategic guess rather than panic and talk to herself that my job is to execute my process, not chase perfection. That can help her control her anxiety. So, what was the result of the exam and for her admission into Harvard? So, on the test day, she has in quant, she has a few tough questions, DS questions, and she could bail out. Her bailout rule helps, and she doesn't panic. In verbal, the sentence completion and critical is feel manageable thanks to her checklist. And her unofficial score is she attempted 49 questions and in quant and 42 in verbal, which has indicative results of 740. And she keeps calm, writes AWIR properly, and sends scores to HBS. And with 740 GMAT and strong essays and work profile, she later receives that we are delighted to offer you admissions into Harvard Business School MBA program. But she knows that real victory was building the system that produced the 740. So let's look at this system. First 7 point GMAT first attempt framework. You can use it as a checklist for yourself. First is the baseline and error logs, 2 marks plus ruthless analysis. Targeted syllabus, study what you missed, not everything. But create your personal syllabus, concept plus process, no rules and fixed steps for each question type. Daily drills in terms of small, focused, high quality practice, not random volume. Timing system, checkpoints, bailout rules, and planned guesses. Full simulation, at least 5 realistic mocks with stamina training. And psychology plus routine, test a playbook to protect your peak. So that's the RIA 7 point GMAT first attempt framework. So what is the core insight in this case? So cracking GMAT is not in one attempt isn't about being a genius. It's about engineering your preparation like a project with clear goals, you know, customized plan, rigorous review, strict timing, and mental discipline. In Harvard is then the result of that engineered performance, not a miracle. So what is next? We get on with looking at the rest of the course, which is we beginning to start, and we will take a look at. Let's understand what do most CAT aspirants do. You've got some idea, but let's take a look at what do most people do so that you can see what to continue, what not to continue. So thank you so much for watching this introductory case study. I hope you're beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in this lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.